Cheryl Twomey asks, thinking of moving back to Los Angeles area, but I'm hesitant because my politics have changed since the last time I lived there. Can a conservative make it in the land of make-believe? Yes, Cheryl, if you come back to Los Angeles and you want to be in show business, you can make it as a conservative in this business. You just cannot, under any circumstances, let anybody know about it. And Brent reminds me that it was 25 Marines and not 15. Thanks, Brent. I always like having people who know more about things than I do. You just can't let anybody know. Yeah. It's the most toxic environment ever. If you think, I really can't. There's no way to describe it. How toxic it is. There's no way to describe how unfair it is and how venal it is. There are stories of people I've heard firsthand. I've seen people crying in front of me in meetings and stuff, where people, like stunt people, tough guys, would cry and just tears running down their face, talking about all the times they had to look at their shoes and kind of nod when they were talking about Bush being a maniac and the soldiers being psychopaths and murderers and stuff. Right, Jim? And, okay, if you don't agree, you're never going to work again. There are stories. Any of these would get you absolutely sued in any other business, by the way, and we should be suing them in this business. I don't know why we're not, but those people want to work again too, I guess. There's stories of guys coming onto the set after some news or something with Bush, and, guy walks on a set, he's the producer, he says, I want to fire somebody. Are there any Republicans here? If somebody walked into an office building one day and said, I want to fire somebody, are there any Mexicans here? The guy'd be in jail. He'd certainly be out of his job. And there you go. So it's teaching. Cheryl says teaching. Well, there goes that whole rant. Yeah, Cheryl, it's a very liberal town. Just be prepared to see Bernie stickers everywhere, and I'm ready for Hillary, and I'm ready for Hillary to go to jail. And with all this said, I've often said that I stay here because I have to, volcanologist has to live under the volcano, and that's all true. But the fact is, even despite the fact that the people are so awful, just mean and dumb, you cannot beat the climate. And a guy who grew up in Florida, surrounded by mosquitoes and 100% humidity and 95 degrees in the morning and 95 degrees at night, I just can't leave this place. When I fly over the mountains or I fly over the coast, down the coast, the video I showed earlier, you just can't find this anywhere. It's just so shockingly beautiful. I'd be in Texas otherwise, but I just, I don't know. I need to be here, and it's made a lot easier for me to be here by the fact that it's so unbelievably, shockingly beautiful and pleasant here, climate-wise. I suppose if they continue to make things worse, that will come a point where that tipping point gets reached, but it's not here yet. So anyway, yeah, you can definitely do it here. Just here's the way to think of it, Cheryl. I don't know if you're married or not. If you're married, then great. If you're not, prepare yourself for the dating scene and just try to imagine what it's like to be gay, because if you come out as a conservative in Los Angeles and you want to meet somebody, you've got a 1 in 10 chance of meeting somebody who agrees with you. It's, probably, I guess if you're gay, it's more like 1 in 4 or 4%, 5%, whatever. Most of the people you're interested in can't stand you. And they can tell you why they can't stand you, but they can't ever tell you what you actually believe, which is what they can't stand. So, there you go. But it's, it's super expensive. The state is out of control. It's run by chimps, and it's filled with some awful people in show business. Filled with some great people. And by the way, I have to say this. This is not like platitudes. It's not the topic I'm talking about. I just want to add to it. I grew up in Miami, and a lot of Cubans in Miami, and I wasn't particularly fond of the Cubans as a group. As it turns out, most of the people in Latin America aren't very fond of the Cubans either. They find them to be a little arrogant and macho, and that was certainly my experience back in Florida. But since I got out here, I have to tell you, I don't think I've met people I like better than the Mexicans that I met out here. I think they're the most wonderful, kind, warm, hardworking people I've ever met. I don't think I've met a Mexican in California that I didn't like. And you want to talk about work ethic? Seriously, these people work like animals, and they're great family people. I just can't tell you how much I like them. That doesn't mean that I'm in favor of them breaking the law. Most of the people who I meet in California are here legally, and you just couldn't ask for nicer people. Seriously, just absolutely wonderful. I am deeply fond of them. I found them to be the most outgoing, friendly, decent, like I said, family, respectful. I can't get enough of them. I think they're fantastic. They make great citizens, except for the murderers and the rapists and the people who are here to commit crimes.